This video will explain what DNA is and discuss how genes within DNA can code for different inherited traits. This video assumes that you have watched the Inherited and Acquired Traits video on this playlist. All living things possess inherited traits that are passed on from generation to generation. Everyone watching this video has traits that have been passed down from parent to child throughout generations for many, many years. This is accomplished by passing on a structure called DNA from parent to child. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is a biologic structure found in every living thing, and it contains all the instructions that tell an organism how to grow and develop. DNA is necessary for life, and without it, an organism could not reproduce and cells would not be able to function. Copies of a mother's and father's DNA get passed on to their child. This is what causes a child to look like his or her parents. Here you can see the structure of DNA. This microscopic molecule is found in the nucleus of every cell in our bodies. In every single cell there is about 5 feet of DNA. Considering how many cells we have in our body, if you lined up all the DNA in your body end to end, it would stretch to the sun and back 3 times. DNA is made up of a long chain of just 4 different types of molecules, called nitrogen bases. The order of these nitrogen bases forms a code that tells cells how to grow and develop. The bases are labeled A, T, C, and G. By mixing and matching just these 4 bases, DNA creates an entire coded language that cells can read for information on how to grow and develop. The English language has 26 letters, and the genetic language has just 4. But by using these 4 bases, DNA can have enough variety to create all of the living things on Earth. Living things are very complex, and there are thousands of inherited traits that a living thing possesses. DNA contains many individual sequences that code for specific traits. These individual sequences that code for specific traits are called genes. Here, you can just see a very tiny segment of DNA with only 2 genes. If DNA were like a recipe book, then each gene would be like an individual recipe. Each gene in our DNA affects a different trait. Humans have about 20 to 25,000 genes in their DNA. Each gene tells cells something different about how to grow and develop. For example, humans have genes that tell cells to grow 5 fingers on each hand, or 2 eyes on the front of the face. We have a gene for eye color and a gene for skin tone. As you likely know, there are many different possible eye colors and skin tones a human can have. This variety of life can be explained by genes. Think about the last time you were in a public place. As you looked around, no 2 people had the same appearance. Although we all share a very similar genetic code that makes us all humans, there are small variations in our genes that create differences. Look at this example. There are 3 sequences of DNA samples from 3 different humans. Each sequence of DNA is a specific sequence for eye color. Each person above has a different eye color, and the sequence of DNA changes. The changes are highlighted in red. By simply swapping out a G base for an A person's eye color changes from brown to green. Changing another A for a T changes a person's eye color to blue. Changes must occur in a specific spot for a given result. If a different A base in this gene were swapped, it would change the eye color to a different color, perhaps hazel or black. Remember that DNA is a coded language. Just like words in our language, placing letters in different locations gives a word an entirely new meaning. Changes in a DNA sequence are called mutations. Mutations are often harmless, like eye color change, but other changes can be very harmful to the individual. Different versions of the same genes are called alleles. The reason no 2 humans look exactly alike is because we all have different alleles, some for hair color, for eye color, for height. The different alleles give us variation in our species. Look at all these possible alleles for hair color. Next time you're out, look around at others, and you will see tons of different alleles for the many thousands of genes that humans have.